Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hi there. I am obviously not Joe Dog McKeel, but this is Stupid O'Clock. And Joe Dog is not going to be with us tonight, but he has left the show in the very excellent hands of myself and Dawn and John Scarborough, who is away from keyboard at the moment.
He's such an Afker.
Excuse me?
Afker.
Oh,
Away from
okay.
keyboard.
Hey, he probably had to go get another adult beverage.
I sort of. No, my.
He went to get a waffle.
No.
Donna and Chris are in the chat saying hi to everybody.
Dublin mudslide.
Yeah. It's like a Bailey's Irish cream ice cream.
Ooh.
Oh, you saw Dawn was here and you ran for the ice cream fridge. You sadist.
I am out of ice cream.
Oh, no.
Oh,
However,
dear.
Ted's not. And I can have his.
Oh.
Well, you know, joint property.
Well, there's some that he picks out that I can't have. So he goes, well, you're completely out. I'm like, well, what do you have? And he's like, strawberry. And I'm like, that'll do. And he's like, that's mine. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He goes, okay, I'll let you have some strawberry. I'm like, thank you.
There are ice creams and such that they no longer make that I really miss because they're really good. Starbucks used to make ice creams about this size. And they had this one called Java Chip.
Oh.
It was like chocolate with cappuccino coffee and just, oh. And then, let's see, what's the other one? Lemon sherbet, of all damn things.
They don't have that down there?
Angles hasn't carried it in almost 2 years. I don't know about Food Lion. Food Lion used to have one I liked. I think it was Food Lion. Yeah, it was Food Lion. They used to have one. It was a Sun-Kissed sherbet, made from the flavor of the Sun-Kissed sodas.
Dang.
Or Sundrop. Sundrops.
Oh, so Sundrop.
They had a Sundrop sherbet, and I liked that one. And then just they've got lime sherbet, orange sherbet, and strawberry and pineapple.
Raspberry?
I don't know. I don't think so. But no lemon.
Oh, there you go. Remember Kay's Castle ice cream, John?
I do.
I had ice cream once while I was down in Georgia, but don't ask me the name of it.
It was Bob's. We know it was Bob's.
No, there's actually, you said that. I'm like, no, there's a Bob's ice cream here locally. That's why when you said that, I gave you that dumbfounded what? Look.
I know
Kay's
lots
Castle.
of things I'm not supposed to.
Kay's Castle, they had mint chocolate chip that I loved and bubblegum. Just because it had bubblegum in it. So,
There was a local place here that used to make their own ice cream in small batches. And unfortunately he sold it, and then the guy who took it over didn't do too well with it, but oh God.
I think somebody's being mean.
What was the name of the Georgia ice cream, Dawn? I don't know. I don't know. It was a drive-through place, and I got something with ice cream.
Drive-through ice cream. Okay. That narrows it down, doesn't it?
We have Dairy Queen. We have it was down in Dalton, right?
Mm-hmm. It was by the Kroger's, by the hotel.
Now wait a minute. There's quite a few miles in between the hotel and the Kroger. There is a Dairy Queen close by.
No, I know Dairy Queen.
Donna said Culver's. Chris said Brewster's.
Brewster, yes. Okay, Chris would know.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, I haven't had ice cream once since I've been here, and it's hot. What the hell?
The really good one is up on the North Shore of Chattanooga. It's Marble Slab Creamery.
It's like a Cold Stone almost.
Pretty much, yeah. But local.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. I'm trying to remember what I had. I had a Heath, whatever they refer to as a blizzard, but it's not a blizzard. Like I said, I know DQ.
Crumble up Heath bars and ice cream. Oh yeah, that'd be great if I had any teeth. I don't have my dentures in, thank you. They're very uncomfortable to wear on a daily basis. I usually take them out of the freezer and thaw them out for photographs and then put them back in water and put them back in the freezer.
So Chris is in chocolate raspberry truffle milkshake. That's what I had.
Chocolate raspberry truffle milkshake.
I was contemplating the Heath, but then I saw the truffle milkshake. Thank you. Apparently, I was tired at that point in time. I think that was, I don't remember what. The whole weekend smushed together, and it was just a fun weekend.
It does that at a con. I mean, you're going and you're going and you're going. You're wide open until suddenly you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're lucky, you fall down, go boom in the bed, and get to sleep really well for several hours. That sounds good. Won't have ice cream until the Witchman dude does his scavenger hunt tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I didn't do my... Did I do my... Sorry. I heard Witchman dude, and I was like, oh, shoot. Scavenger hunt, Witchman dude, Muncie.
No, I believe most people refer to that as shopping, actually. And Witchman refers to it as a scavenger hunt.
Well, that's because it's Sunday, and unless they're actually stocking shelves, he's got to do with what's left. And they may start, I don't know the store, they may start stocking it Friday evening, Saturday night, all day Sunday, I don't know. Different stores have different schedules. I went to our local Kroger after enough stuff to equal 38 gas points.
Nice.
Turns out it was a 5 times fuel points Friday.
Well, even better.
Well, yeah, except now I've got uh, $1 a gallon off of my next tank of gas, plus 30 cents a gallon off the next tank of gas, as long as I get it before the end of June.
Donna
Yeah.
and Chris are in two separate YouTube streams, so they can't see each other's comments.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that Chris made the comment, then Chris, yeah. Okay. I'm just saying that the only way they're seeing each other's conversation is if we say it or we post it.
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there.
Well, then I will facilitate matters. You can go by there when you come down for HallowCon, Donna. Chris says it's not far away. And fuel up for lift. Yeah. Actually, I've already filled up the van, and since I drive the Buick for everyday driving now, instead of the van everywhere we go, unless I have to use the van for a pickup truck, it's got a full tank of gas. I need to get my GPS out and uh, update the maps and stuff because that's always fun. Um, Too bad they don't include really useful information on there, like, hey, this is where the local cops usually have their radar trap. Slow down through here. Of course, I don't drive over the speed limit anyway, most of the time.
Most of the time.
And not very far over the speed limit at any time. I think I allow myself maybe 3 miles an hour over whatever the sign says. And I still have to hug the far inside lane because I'm getting passed by people who are making me look like I'm standing still. Evidently, 70 miles an hour on 85 is just a suggestion. I mean, yeah, well, I've got to roll the window up a little bit, honey. The guy in the blue Corvette's messing up my hair. With little's left.
So we went garage sailing today. We haven't done that for years. There happened to be a guy that we know of that about twice a year he sells off some of his Legos in a garage sale setting. So we went there. Well, then we didn't realize it was their garage sale, the neighborhood garage sale day. So I got a few things, nothing major, but it was kind of fun to do.
We were supposed to have a neighborhood yard sale today, but the last one got rained out, and then it was threatening to rain all day today, so nobody put anything out, and then finally started raining about sundown. So.
Lindsay was so disappointed today. We went by at least 30 yard sales. We had to go take the trash to the landfill and the recycling to the recycle center. And it's like every other driveway, somebody's having a yard sale. And she had forgotten her purse. Because we were just going to take the trash off and go down to the hardware store and look for something that she asked them to order for her, see if it had come in yet, which it hadn't. She didn't bother to pick up her purse, didn't have her wallet, didn't have her cards. I had a little bit of cash, but not enough for a yard sale, believe me. Plus, I didn't want to spend the next 18 hours sorting through somebody else's old T-shirts or whatever. I usually don't find things at yard sales that I can afford. I find things at yard sales I can't afford, like a cabin cruiser or hey, boat for sale. No, to me it ain't. Although I did go past at least 3 motorhomes with for sale signs on them, and they didn't look like they were that old or in that bad a shape from the outside as I was driving by. I'm going, woo. If I had one of those, we could just leave our convention stuff in it all year round and empty out 4 closets in the house. But no. Sadly, a land yacht is not necessarily in my future. Um, it's not out of my financial means. It's just convincing Lindsay it's actually a good investment. Especially after the experience that Lewis had with his and uh, discovering that leak in the roof and all the unfortunate circumstances that led to him going, I'm selling this thing.
My parents have one, and they use it somewhat. They don't use it as much as either one of them wants to use it, but
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they enjoy it.
Well, it would probably make going to conventions or events like the family reunion a whole lot more convenient. Wouldn't be any more affordable. I mean, you've got to have your membership to get your badge, and then you've got to have a room in the hotel to get your pass key to use the elevators. And then
I
you got
know.
to find a place to park them that isn't in their 2-foot tall parking garage.
I
If
know
they
my
quit
parents, when they come
building,
down to visit, they bring it down, and it's actually nice. I mean, they kind of have their own spot then, and the trade off is there's a campground that's closer, which yeah, it's more in fuel, but then it's less in the rent, and then they can bring down a lot of stuff, so they're not buying a lot of stuff either, like food and things like that.
mm-hmm.
So it is a trade off, but it is nice to have.
I wouldn't mind having one. I doubt that I'd want one that was very huge.
This one's got a
Uh,
slide out in it. They got one slide out.
oh, I had
Maybe
a
they have
mobile
two.
home like that was very nice. But yeah, I have seen the land yachts with slide outs. Yeah, and those look very nice as well. Um, Not sure about anything used, even though that would be more in my price range than a brand new one. But
No, it's been they got that one used, and the one before that was used too.
oh, I'm supposed to get my first Social Security check on Monday. First ever.
Congratulations.
I hope so. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're taking any taxes out, which I had put in the spreadsheet for the budget because I thought they'd be taking taxes out. So I'm going to have to set money aside for federal and state taxes. I also have been approved for Medicare, backdated till November.
Good. Now you can get your
And
neck taken care of.
Like, I'm sorry, I was reading something. I do that occasionally.
Reading? What's that?
I've been told it's fundamental, but I think I read that somewhere.
Hello, farming girl.
yeah. Oh, and some of my family is in Savannah watching My sister's daughter graduate from art college with a BFA.
Is this the
And
one that is on indiecd.org? And hi, Zachy.
yes, Taylor is on NDCD. Hello, Zach. Yep. Unfortunately, we didn't know about this particular event, so we didn't get to go. I mean, I drove all the way to New Mexico. No, we flew all the way to New Mexico to drive another 6 hours to get to see Lindsay's son graduate from University of Mexico, or University of New Mexico, excuse me. But I didn't get to go see my niece graduate. Oh well, maybe everybody thought I was too poor.
Maybe
Could be.
they could have been limited too of how many people they could have at the actual
That
ceremony.
I never thought of. Thank you. I didn't think about that since it
Because
is
I know
that far away. And
I know I was
when
max 3 tickets for my actual grad ceremony.
that's what Ted had 3 also.
well, as long as my sister and my brother-in-law got to go, that's great. I know my mom would love to have gone. I don't know if she did. I will find out tomorrow when Lindsay goes to church and see whether or not Mom is actually there or just doesn't show up, and that will pretty much be a indication she is on her way home from Savannah.
Okay. This is not an invite to the graduation. Apparently, I get a postcard of my niece's graduation. So
Okay.
it's got cute little pictures from. She went to Bama. Don't ask.
I'm not going to. I'm a northern girl, so I'm not going to even get into the whole Georgia Bama thing going across
No.
She was raised by a Marine. That's the only excuse I can think of. Okay.
Hi, Signe Spears.
Yeah, really. We got a lot of folks showing up I haven't recognized their name for.
Well, I
Farming
talked
Girl,
to some
Signe
people over the
Spears.
last weekend and today. So Farming Girl and Signe Spears and
Britney Spears.
was those yours?
Signe Spears.
Matthew Chesterton?
Signy's mine, Matthew's mine. There's probably a couple others.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Well, that's nice of you. What the
Gavin's
And
mine.
Gavin is here. By the way, if you guys didn't know, Zach is just freaking awesome.
what NASA taking a vacation or something? Y'all decided to show up here? What I mean, just
Their flight got canceled.
I've been up since 4 this morning. It's now 9:30. I'm on my 4th wind.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't they launch?
Oh dear.
Oh, that's right. Soyuz docked last night, right?
Oh no,
Yeah,
though.
so
You
he's
beat my
well, this
cookie.
morning.
Oh, I recognize the. If it is who I think it is, I recognize the little avatar for Farming Girl.
Ah,
Okay. I mean, if I've eaten somebody's cooking, yes, I'd hope I'd recognize them, but not under that name. And Zach can't get rid of Signe because he's her cousin. Or his cousin. Which?
She's a pain in my rear.
Oh,
But it was her birthday yesterday, so she's
happy
getting
belated
older.
birthday. Man, somebody's
Lewis-
cracking something open for the birthday.
that bud's for you. Okay. That's
Get that.
Very sad.
He waited till they said amen.
No, that was last night at the game.
Farming
that's-
Girl.
that's a redneck
$17.
joke.
Oh, Farming Girl. You praise me entirely too much.
Yep, it is who I think it is.
Still love the taco.
Yes, we'll be eating her cooking again this year. Woohoo! Oh, I will have to say, and it's nothing against any of the rain, but that brisket that they had last weekend at Uncon, I don't know if there's enough expletive words that can explain that.
Good or bad?
You could
Good.
simplify that. Was it okay? That's all I needed to get to know.
But then again, it's Southern
wait a
cooking.
minute.
Everything that I ate was good.
Somebody up in Dawn's neck of the woods, I just saw this on one of the smoker sites I'm on for smoking meat. Apparently, they were doing an overnight smoke, and they got it on security camera. Somebody came into their backyard, opened their grill, and stole 20 pounds of brisket off of their smoker grill at like 2
It was only like half cooked.
Dawn.
And
it was not me.
I don't know.
Smokes
But it is strange that you show up at a con down here and there's brisket. So, you know what Sherlock Holmes said?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I know Gibbs says there's nothing as such as a coincidence. No such thing as a coincidence. Me too, farming girl. Me too. It was interesting being in a pool at 9:30 at night in May, an outdoor pool in May at night. That doesn't happen up here.
Ours are still frozen.
Oh no! In May, you can still walk across the darn thing because it's frozen solid.
So that was actually kind of fun.
It's like that joke I tell about, Atlanta's got a hockey team. And I'm like, you know what we call hockey down here in Georgia? Swimming. Okay.
Water polo.
Sorry.
I couldn't get
on the point.
You mentioned hockey. I forgot
She could have boarded with it, but the crew would have taken it away and eaten it themselves.
Somebody FedEx does some brisket. What's going on?
It's an emotional support brisket.
This FedEx smells delicious. What is this?
I don't know. We had a UPS delivery the other day. I went to the porch to pick up the box. One end of the box was completely missing. I almost spilled the entire thing out on the concrete there on the front porch.
Yeah.
Was everything in the box that you?
I would have to get the assembly instructions and put it together to find out if it's still all there. The box is quite heavy and quite full. I kind of wondered if the alphabet agencies didn't have to open the box to check and see that it actually had a workbench in it.
Depends on the
Just
workbench.
because you could shake it around and hear metal rattling doesn't mean it's actually a workbench. It could be something illegal in Georgia.
Every movie I've ever seen where they're smuggling weapons, machine parts. Okay, that's just so.
Donna had a box of books come that way too. One end of the box of books was open. Yeah. We had one delivery of cans and a bag of dog food and cans of cat food, and the box was just busted all to pieces. And Lindsay
the drug dog did it.
Every time Lindsay went to the mailbox, there was another can of cat food or another can of dog food along the way to the mailbox, all the way up the driveway. I mean, it's a short driveway, thank God, but yeah. I mean, what is it with these people?
Now we know how Lindsay gets all the cats to the yard.
Shake, shake, shake. She's actually got a little Tupperware about large enough to make Kool-Aid in, and she fills it with dry cat food. And one of the cats that she wants to come in the house is being obstinate. She'll go to the back door and just rattle the Tupperware, and then be very selective about which ones get to come in the door.
We used to have 2 cats, and I used to buy cat food in a 1-gallon jug. And that worked. Strange enough, when we first got the pig, the lady my mom got the pig from told him, "Oh, he'll do anything for Cheerios." And sure enough, if you had a box of Cheerios, just shake that button, and then little porker would come running.
We're trying to get Georgette to come upstairs from the basement today, and Ted went to shake a package of treats, except for he didn't realize that they were open.
Well, I guess the cat got a little treat out of that box of treats. Kool-Aid, damn, I'm thirsty.
Drink the Kool-Aid, Chris. Drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh, don't
That's
drink
what
the
members
Kool-Aid.
of cults do. No.
Shouldn't he be the one that's making the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, Chris. Let's see. 3-part statesman, 1 part. We'll find out later.
Yeah, guess what he had at Uncon?
A bottle of statesman, I'm sure. That is rapidly becoming a trademark. And believe me, I bet he was really popular.
Well, he is anyways. He's Chris.
John, you had something you were about to say and thought better of it?
No, just waiting. Because I was going to ask Zach, what the heck happened with Starliner?
And good night, everybody. What didn't? Well, I mean, it's still on the ground, so
It didn't blow up on the pad. Okay, it's
No.
It didn't leave the pad, obviously.
Well, a month ago they tried to launch it, and then shockingly, Starliner didn't have the issue, which is the capsule. The rocket piece had the issue on its second stage,
which is not shocking because it's United Launch Alliance,
which is ULA is normally really good for their rockets for Atlas. They're normally like within one attempt, they're normally pretty good. So they had to roll it back, cancel like 4 weeks. Got to the pad today, ran the clock, got all the way down to 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Canceled it because a memory chip isn't happy and was like, I don't know if it's safe to launch, so I'm not launching. So the rocket just said no. And so they had to stop the launch because of that. But that wasn't that was the sad part where the commander literally let out a grunt on air and went on camera in the capsule, which he's frustrated when he does that on air. 2 minutes after he gave the most beautiful speech about uniting the world and America, one nation, like all this stuff, and then now he's a really angry commander. The journey was getting the 3 hours to there, where honestly, that's the stay liner, scrub liner, pad liner. It's by Boeing, so are we surprised? Gavin complains. If you leave this one up, Gavin complains that he had to stand 2 hours out in the sun, but then he gets to have this picture because he gets to go to the press site now as probably the only under 18-year-old accredited person at NASA in history. So, Gavin, I know you like standing out there in the sun, but it's also the Florida sun. But yeah, it just kept breaking.
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen. But it just kept breaking. They were fueling just fine. They loaded the crew, and then they were like, yeah, it stopped loading fuel. And everyone's like, what do you mean it stopped loading fuel? A valve wasn't happy, so they couldn't top it up. Oh.
Ooh.
That looks fancy.
Speaking of loading fuel,
He put chocolate syrup on the strawberry ice cream.
That's a combo.
I wonder what he's got in mind for later on.
Wow, tickle, wow, wow. Okay.
To go to sleep.
Oh, it's supposed to make you pass out so he can sleep.
Put me in a sugar coma.
Yes. But they ended up trying to work the valve, thought they fixed the valve with a software update using a backup system, and then they turned the fueling back on, and it fueled for like a second, and then it decided to vent 1,000 psi's of pressure and fuel.
Good Lord.
Before
How
they
did
could
that
turn the...
how did that not knock the damn thing over?
It's a good question, because it did it in about 10 seconds. It was very quick. It was a lot of pressure out. So then they worked that problem for an hour and a half, fixed it, and then they got down to the crew doing their last like helmet checks, and they put their helmets down, suited up, like they've been strapped in for hours, zip the helmets up, which they're literally a zipper that looks like they're slitting their throats when they put it on. It's very unfortunate. And they turned on the fans so they could have air, and the fans wouldn't turn on. So that the astronauts had no fresh air going into their spacesuits. So then they told them to open them. So they're down at like 5 minutes, and they've got no visors down, which is not to count, and all these other problems. They fix the fan going to another backup system. They get to the count. The rocket decides it doesn't want to launch this day by itself. This is after a month of NASA having concerns on their parachutes because Boeing's New Shepard, or not Boeing, Blue Origin's New Shepard uses the same parachutes as this vehicle, and they had a failed parachute on their last crewed flight a couple weeks ago on suborbital. So there was concerns about the parachutes. They said it's fine. There's a leak on the Starliner, which is the crew capsule portion, that they have now determined is a design flaw, and there is no way to fix it. But it's okay. It's in decent measure. So there's just a permanent leak that we know exists. It's just helium. It's fine. It's just a little bit of helium leaking. And who knows what else the other problems are. So now they're trying to figure that out. Oh, the other issue that they've determined that NASA has signed a waiver on, that's like, it's okay. We have a backup plan. The thrusters might just not work once they're in orbit, which means they can't do a deorbit burn to come home. So they might just get stuck in orbit. So they've spent the last 4 weeks working a plan to use different thrusters that are not meant to deorbit the craft to do 2 10-minute burns 70 minutes apart that'll like stall it out, that the atmosphere grabs it.
So that it would fall.
But
Yeah.
because the main thrusters might just not work. They didn't last time. If they had broken one more, if one more had failed on the last uncrewed mission, it would have been stuck in orbit, and they wouldn't have had a plan to deorbit it. So,
And about that helium leak, evidently they've never heard of J.B. Weld.
it's Boeing leak liner. It's
Hey, if duct tape is not going to stand up to the reentry burn, J.B. Weld will.
I honestly think it was Starliner a couple years ago when they did the last flight test. They had duct tape used, and then they were doing pre-flight checks, and they actually scrubbed because someone realized that the duct tape would actually be a flammable risk in the oxygenated cabin, that they actually had to rip all the tape out and put different tape in.
They used, I'm not sure if it was actually duct tape.
Yeah, something like it.
It was, but they were using tape to tape together the wiring bundles, and it was a plastic tape. So I don't know if it was duct tape or electrical tape or whatever. But.
Yeah, exactly.
Gorilla tape. Oh. It's that Flex Seal tape. That's what it is.
They quit sending the monkeys into space back in the 60s. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're sending them again on Starliner. Except they're decorated.
No, now the monkeys are building the thing.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Monkeys would probably do a better job at building the thing.
Boeing used to have engineers. Now they've got people with smartphones, which
I don't
will
think
say
that's
the
a fair trade-off.
I will say the Dreamliner, the best aircraft I've ever been on. I will give that to Boeing. It is the only Boeing aircraft I will be getting on in the near future, though.
well, they still got 747s out there.
Like 12.
No. There's still a lot of airlines running 747s.
Oh. I thought all of the U.S. ones had been grounded.
No, they just recently quit. They made the last few of them here last year, so there's still customers out there.
There's plenty of them out there.
Just
That's what
Air France got rid
the
of them.
B-52 of airliners. I mean,
Really?
it'll be flying for a long time.
Speaking of Boeing products,
Hey, that one's going to be going for another 100 years, according to the new engine updates.
yeah, thanks to Rolls-Royce, not Boeing.
Hey,
Okay.
don't knock Rolls-Royce. They make good engines.
Well, that's like this rocket. Starliner is the problem. The rocket is normally good. Like, this rocket has launched dozens of times. This rocket is Atlas, which has been used since the 60s.
Yes.
So this works. This, you could not pay me to ride. I would ride a Starship before I rode this.
Okay. You got to look at it. You got to look at
one where the head pops off.
You got to look at it realistically, Zach. You would be in that capsule in a spacesuit in a heartbeat, and you wouldn't have to worry about a darn thing.
Not a Starliner.
It's not like it's ever going to leave the pad.
It's like that joke.
I will go for a wet dress rehearsal. I will do that.
It is like that joke about the engineering professor that brings his class onto this airplane, and they all sit down and buckle up. And he goes, "Okay, guys, this is your end of term exam." It says, all those things you designed for an aircraft to make it safer, we've installed everything you designed on this aircraft. And now we're going to go take a flight unless you want to leave the aircraft. And all 32 students unbuckle their belts and get off the airplane, except for the engineering professor. And the pilot comes back and goes, "Aren't you afraid to fly on this airplane?" He goes, "No, I know my students. This thing ain't going to get off the ground."
It doesn't mean that an accident can't happen on the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, NASA's done that.
You got hit by a luggage train.
Students, they forgot to install wings.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
Which one was the bolts that handle the landing gear?
Wouldn't that be terrible if you're going out for a space launch, big billion-dollar spacecraft, millions of parts, all sorts of stuff. You're in the high-tech spacesuit. You're walking out there. They take you out there in the little Airstream van. They open the door, and as you're coming out waving the crowd, you trip on the little folding stairs and fall and break your neck. Okay, that'd be me.
That would be my luck.
I love that.
We've asked. We were talking about that in the team today with this suit, the suit that like SpaceX has the helmet. Where is my helmet? Helmet goes on.
Yeah.
Boeing's is attached to the back of the neck and is like a hoodie with a visor that pulls over, and then it's literally like a zipper that you slit around your throat.
Yeah.
But there's no protection. So they have to put on like an older military, like hard shell on the back of the head with like a neck strap, to the point the commander has Band-Aids with pads on his face for the mission. It's so uncomfortable. And they inflate like the Marshmallow Man.
Now, who was it? Oh, who was it? I want to say the Russians invented it. Everybody said it was a great idea, but I'm not sure. They invented that spacesuit, that the backpack on the back that has all the air and batteries in it is hinged, and it opens like a door, and you step in, put your head up, put your arms in the side, and somebody closes the backpack and latches it shut, and that's it. That's you getting into the spacesuit. And I think
I've
NASA
seen-
actually,
I've
That's
seen-
NASA's next ones.
yeah, and
I've seen
NASA
deep sea
copied it 'cause
diving
it's such a
suits
brilliant
like
idea.
that.
Yeah, the ones for Mars, and when we start doing a lot of moon stuff, they want them to be on the back of the pressurized rovers. So then inside the rover, they open the back of the backpack, get in, close it, close another seal, and then they can separate off. But then zero moon dust ever comes in the rover, and then never comes into the base. Because that was a big issue with Apollo, was how much moon dust came back into the capsules.
Yeah, and that stuff is coarse as all get out. It's like sandpaper all
They're
over
still
everything.
vacuuming out the Astro, man.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So now we
Damn
all know
sand gets everywhere.
Oh, well, there was a series on HBO, and I think Tom Hanks produced it about
From there to the moon.
to the moon and back, or something like that. Or
I didn't
Dawn
watch
said
it,
from
but I
the
remember
Earth to the moon.
to the that's it, from the Earth to the moon. And it was
Listen to
talking-
the woman; she knows what she's talking about.
and they were talking about the last Apollo flight to the moon, and they came back, and it was the last one with the rover, so they were anyway. They came back and they docked the ascent module to the command module, and they're coming aboard. Well, because they had been driving the lunar module, it had thrown up dust just everywhere. And these guys were just literally, it looked like they had crawled through a chimney because there was so much dust on their uniforms and spacesuits and everything. And the guy who's in the command module looks up and goes, no, you're not bringing that dust into my command module. And they were like, oh, he says, no. He says, we've had an almost perfect mission. He says, you're not bringing that dust into my command module and short-circuiting something in here before we make it back to Earth. Okay. He says, take off all the stuff you wore on the moon and leave it in the ascent module. So, and they, of course, they hand through all the stuff, the samples and stuff they brought back from the moon. But they go back inside. These guys are naked. They did not wear anything that they brought back from the moon with them. So they have to do a burn because they wasted all this time. They have to do a burn to get out of the moon's orbit and head back toward Earth. And it's very timed. So they're strapped in, both of them, naked. The only guy wearing clothes is the command module pilot. So they're getting ready to detach the ascent module so they can do their burn and head home. And one guy sitting there goes, if that airlock were to fail right now and they actually managed to recover this capsule, there's going to be a lot of damn questions about how they find us in here.
Brings up another never mind.
I will see if I can't find that later. Zach, what was the last Apollo? Was it 17?
17 was the last. 6.
17. What? Because 18 got canceled.
17 was the last one to actually land. They might have flown a few more missions for other things that didn't leave Earth orbit.
18, 19, and 20 were built but never flew. That's why they're in
Correct.
museums.
Yeah. Which one got turned into Soyuz or Skylab?
Huh?
Wasn't that?
I thought Skylab was its own thing.
But it was on
but
Saturn.
they did they used Apollo crafts to go in 73 to 74.
And
But it launched on the. I haven't memorized all the Apollo stuff. It launched not on the full Saturn V's.
Right. It didn't have all the command module and service.
Yeah,
module.
it was the 1B, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because it was the one that had the pedestal, if I remember correctly. Because it was using the Saturn V pad, but then they built the pedestal. Because that was, 4 years after? No. Yeah. No. 70. Yeah,
I don't know if you guys posted this up here, but Chris said there are a number of 717, 727, 737, 747, 757, 767, 777, they're still in service. I believe the 707s are no longer in service. And that Boeing used to be preferred over Airbus, but I think the pendulum has swung the other way. Okay.
I have read things about Airbus that it might be neck and neck. That pendulum may be stalled in the center right now. I don't know. I am not an expert. I
I am
am
so glad
not
we're having
even
this
well
conversation
informed.
this week instead of 2 weeks ago before I got on the airplane.
Yeah, one of the people on my team sent me a link that says in 2022 there was only 6 crew passenger airliners that were still flying 747s, such as Air China, Asiana Airlines, Korea Air, Lufthansa, Mahan
Singapore.
Air, and Russia.
Singapore. What's that other one? I think Kuwait's still flying them, but I think Kuwait was switching to the A380.
Yeah, a lot of them have bought the A380s because a lot of the airlines are also getting rid of that. They're all switching to the Dreamliners. They're more efficient because they can go further. They can carry about just over half, almost 2/3 the people. But it was like a third, 2/3 of the fuel or something. They're a lot more efficient than the 747s.
Right.
Because I was on a 747 2009, 10, 11, somewhere in there. That was a long flight. No entertainment system. One TV for every 15 rows. It was awful. Especially since 4 weeks earlier when we flew to Europe, we were on an A380 that had only flown twice. So we went from the
Still had that new car smell.
to the absolute worst aircraft you probably could fly.
The hell was I? Now you got me wondering what the planes were I was on.
Puddle jumpers.
Well, I know they weren't big ones by any means.
I would not cross an ocean in them.
Okay. First of all, I don't know about you guys, but some of us actually have to drive in Atlanta traffic from time to time. And trust me, if you've ever driven through Atlanta, air disasters are the least thing on your mind.
No, it's going. Why did I never put machine guns on this car?
No, I want the little extendy probe thing with the hubcap that James Bond had. That had the
shred
drill
tires.
Of it. Yeah, no, it's okay. Just so I can get over. That's. Well, not gonna let me in. Watch this. How nice of him to let me over after both his tires blew.
Yeah, I didn't have fears of air disasters until my plane dropped about 2,000 feet out of the air on a 90-degree bank when we hit an air pocket when we were only about 4,000 feet off the ground. Yeah, when you went from seeing neighborhoods with pools to the whites of eyes of people in pools sideways, yeah, no. Don't like turbulence now.
Oh, I've never liked turbulence.
When turbulence comes on, and every plane I've been on in the last 5 years, when does the turbulence come? It only happens at 2 times. Right when you balloons. Right when
Do that again. Okay.
Right when you make it into the bathroom and latch the door, you always hit bumps. Or right when they finally put your food down after waiting an hour.
Yeah.
Don't you get more turbulence flying out of Canada than just about any other country because of the changes in temperature?
Probably. And with the mountain ranges and stuff.
Every time I've ever had, when I was flying, with the military back and forth to Europe, we didn't have any turbulence until after we got out over the Atlantic near the Canadian coast.
Yeah, Canadian coast to Iceland was where we had the most this time, both times.
I think Chris has got your answer to Atlanta traffic there, John.
Just use one of the cow things they did on the trains.
Mm.
Hey, I'm still going flamethrowers at a bare minimum. Couple of rocket launchers, that would be nice. Machine guns with tracer bullets, just to let them know that's your turn signal. Get out of the way. Um,
Can you put
The
little whistlers on them too?
yeah, you can.
the military had this thing. It was a breaching vehicle, and it had the big V-shaped blade up front for digging up mines and stuff. And then it had this big claw that would come around. It's like an excavator claw, so that you could dig up dirt berms and fill in tank ditches and all that sort of stuff like that. And it was based on an M1 Abrams hull called a Grizzly. I don't think they still use it anymore. They got something new. But that would actually be pretty good for going through Atlanta traffic, because let the kids play with the excavator arm.
Well, I don't want to dip, but I've been up since 4 and been live since 4:30. So I'm going to go crash because who knows what they're going to add to my schedule tomorrow once I go to bed. I tried to get a nap before dinner tonight, laid down, and China decided to land on the far side of the moon an hour and a half early.
Really? Did they make it?
Supposedly.
It's hard to tell with commies.
There hasn't been a picture yet, but if they have, they plan to only be on the surface for about 48 hours. They're going to drill and collect 2,000 grams of samples and launch up to an orbiter, redock to it in 3 days, and then that orbiter is supposed to be back here in 23 days.
We may not be able to get pictures from it anyway because it's on the dark side, right?
They have an extra satellite that they've been using, but they should be able to get pictures from the thing to that satellite, then it comes around and sends them back.
Gotcha.
Supposedly.
On paper.
We saw the rocket launch. So the rocket existed. What
A
was on the
rocket
rocket? Good
existed.
question. Where on the moon it landed? Also good question. I don't know if NASA's orbiter, it probably should pass over where it supposedly landed, so they probably could take pictures. But supposedly they were going to release pictures in sometime basically now, but we'll see what happens. They also landed 2 hours early. How do you land on the moon 2 hours early?
By not slowing down like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Splat.
Well, they're trying to get people there by 2030. So,
well, they're trying to get people that survive there by 2030.
yeah. So is India. India hasn't even tried yet. Well, they did
think
their lunar
India's
landing.
got a better chance.
Yeah, India will be interesting. I think India might beat US and China.
Hello, Kiri.
But we will catch you all Friday or sometime in between.
Well, good night.
Alrighty then.
James.
I don't know who that was aimed at, Kiri, but on behalf of all 4 of us, including the
It was a universal roar.
Okay. Maybe a Decepticon party.
Well, we better get Optimus Prime in on this stuff.
Oh, Lord. And I've still got to cook tomorrow. My God. I'm trying to think of what to make to go with it. I just don't know. I'm hoping we still got some of those trays of steamed veggies we can broil. I don't know. I have not looked in the freezer. I don't know what we've got. If I have to go out and buy something, I will go out and buy something. It'll be a short drive. Only about 7 miles. Don't have to do 30 miles to find the other closest grocery store. There are a few drawbacks to living out in the middle of nowhere.
BFE.
the howling wasteland that is the outback of Northeast Georgia. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry that Zach missed that too. He probably would have enjoyed it. Ah. Ah. The pimento cheese sandwich I had earlier was not quite enough, but I'm not going to go make another sandwich right now. Hey, I've got responsibilities. I have to pretend to be an adult.
I didn't
Oh,
see that.
oh, just go ahead. Drive the spike further in, why don't you? Um, yeah, that's my internet provider. They make 2 tin cans and a string look like advanced technology. Oh, on the other hand, I ordered a new solid state hard drive, a backup solid state hard drive, and 32 gigabytes of RAM to go in this computer I'm using right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it'll have a 4 terabyte C drive, a 1 terabyte D drive, and 32 gigs of RAM, which maxes the RAM out, which is what I like to do to every computer I get is throw as much RAM in there as the design will allow.
Not the green room. You're throwing your RAM around.
Oh, please don't tempt me. It's not Friday. Please don't tempt me. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, I know that's the company you have to put up with as well. But you know, when it's the only game in town, that's the one you got to play. And Chris would know. The look on Dawn's face. Really?
Dang, Chris, just take away all my fun.
That's all right.
Notice how he's being keyboard warrior tonight and he's not joining in?
Uh-huh.
He's scared.
He's at work. Or driving home.
It's Saturday.
I know. Doesn't mean he's not at work. The place is open 24/7, 365. He's scheduled to be there. I don't know when. I don't know for how long. Hell, for all we know, he's in a Taco Bell drive-through right now, and that's the only reason he's texting. Could be anything. Oh, Paul, our friend who comes in from time to time, has a brand new grandson, doesn't he?
Yeah, he posted
Yes.
that in our group. Congratulations, Paul, if you happen to be listening in tonight.
It had slipped my mind whether it was grandson or great grandson, but both are perfectly fine.
He says he's a grandpa now.
Hey, one of our grand nieces is going to have a baby soon, which will make Lindsay and I great grand aunt and uncle. And my mother's going, oh my God, not another one. I'm not going to live long enough to buy them school clothes. Mom's in her 80s. She should last another 20, 25 years. It's in the family genetics. It really is. Her mom was like 3 months past her 100th birthday when she just said, I'm tired. And just gave up. She'd already outlived 4 of her 7 children. And now it's just my mom and one of her brothers left. Both of her sisters have passed. The other 3 brothers have passed. Dad has been gone for a couple of years now. Damn Alzheimer's. It was actually aspiration pneumonia. He forgot how to swallow because of the Alzheimer's. And eating was difficult, and breathing saliva is not a healthy thing.
No. I keep hearing running water, and it's not raining, I don't think.
I hear something that sounds like a bubble pump on an aquarium or
I have
a
I
fan.
have a fan in my window.
There we go. That's probably it.
Oh, so it's you. Mm-hmm.
One way to find out.
That was it. See, there's so many times that I think I'm losing my mind, and really I'm not.
Oh yeah, blame it on my window fan. Why don't you?
I am. It's your window fan's fault.
Oh,
I mean, it can't be my fault. I'm a perfect angel.
the temperature in my office.
Onlyfans.com.
The temperature in my office actually got down to 81 this afternoon, just as it was going dark. And I'm going, damn, do I need to turn the heater on? I'm getting cold.
I've been chilly all day.
It's Georgia. If it's not 100 degrees, I don't know what to do. I need to put on a sweater. It's like 72 outside, and now it's 82 in the house.
Question, John. What are your kitty ears again?
Oh, my kitty ears? Mm-hmm. That is actually the Tennessee Aquarium here in Chattanooga.
Guess what? I saw that.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you fly over it or drive past it or go in it?
Drive past it. I got a little tour of Chattanooga while after I got picked up from the airport.
Used to be. Let me see if I can bring that up again here real quick. Used to be those were white. I don't know why they changed to blue.
Hmm.
And that's the freshwater aquarium, and then right over here next to it is the saltwater aquarium.
Where the white.
Yeah, with the white roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big, pretty glass roof.
It was kind of neat. Went past the Chattanooga Choo Choo, and
Were the light bulbs working, or was it daytime?
it was daytime.
Yeah. They've got that beautiful neon and light sign up front, and just they never maintain it worth a darn. I really wish they get rid of all them old. They need to refurbish that sign and put in LED.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can though.
Somebody bring up Chris's latest comment there.
That one? I already brought it up, and
I wanted to
It
make
was-
a comment on that though.
Oh.
That Joe Dog actually put an ice cube down my shirt this last weekend, and all I did was. I think he was very sad about the fact that I just was so
you didn't jump. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, that feels good. Oh, okay, thanks.
Hey Don, do you
What?
like snakes?
That would put me in the hospital.
She don't
Some-
like spiders or snakes.
No, that's I said that could put me in the hospital. We don't want you. Promise
But
no
there
hospital.
may be the breaks. Well, never. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm just wondering what part of Don being from Wisconsin did Joe Dog fail to grasp?
The fact that I'm not from Wisconsin, Dan.
I thought your family was Minnesota.
Yes.
Excuse me.
There's
I
a big
misspoke.
difference. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah, about 7 hours driving time from my point of view.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Oh, Chris. I was just told not to go there. You should have taken notes.
Hmm? Yeah, there's no love lost between Wisconsin and Minnesota, and it's football is the kind of the stem of it, but yeah.
Mm,
But but Iowa is a little bit more because you know why all the trees lean to the south from south towards Iowa from Minnesota
no.
because Iowa sucks. Why do the rest of them lean to the north? Because when Iowa isn't sucking, it's blowing. And for any of our viewers that are from Iowa, I am just teasing and having fun. It's the whole, state
No.
line.
She means it. She means it. Email her, not us.
I have gotten one speeding ticket in my freaking life, and it was going through Cedar Rapids. And there was one of those, they didn't even have the balls to pull me over. They had to do the camera and then send it to me in the mail weeks later.
I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have pulled you over either. I'm not stupid. I don't pull women over. Well, I mean, figuratively speaking.
Ted with me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, even
They had
worse, there'd be witnesses.
They had to have made a killing that day because I was keeping up with traffic. So they had to be going click, 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 click.
Yeah, they didn't have a still camera. They had a movie camera they just pulled still shots out of.
Well, so that's the little camera that takes a picture of your license plate.
I know.
Yeah.
We have them around here too. What's really weird is that nobody has figured out that the the radar cameras are triggered by 2 of the sensor cables going across the road very close together. But the ones that count the number of cars on a given route is just 1 cable. So you see that, it's just counting and dividing by 2, hoping that big trucks don't drive by. And if you see the 2 cables, that's a speed trap.
Like I said, they had to make a killing going through Cedar Rapids that day.
Yeah. Well, and there are lots of stoplights in Athens that used to have the speeding cameras, traffic cameras attached to them. And the people paying taxes stopped voting for the people that were having the speeding cameras installed and demanded that they be removed. And now there are very, very few where they used to be all over the place.
There was a little town called Red Bank. They didn't have much of a police department, but
I know it.
They installed traffic cameras at several of the major intersections, and they had a van that they'd move around that had a traffic camera in it. They'd park it on the side of the road, do the same thing there too. And it got so bad, people stopped driving through Red Bank. And all of the small businesses in Red Bank went under. They lost a Food Lion. They lost a Food City. They used to have $2 General stores. One of them closed because of it.
If you close a Dollar General, you do it.
That's how bad it was. They managed to get a Dollar General store to close. And strangely enough, the one thing that eventually killed their traffic, they kept bitching about, it's good revenue. And then the revenue started going down. And then finally, I like what Waffle House did. It's one of the older Waffle Houses in Chattanooga. It's right there in the corner of Signal Mountain Road and Dayton Boulevard. And there were 5 traffic cameras out in front of it at this intersection. And Waffle House told them, says, if you don't get rid of them damn traffic cameras, we're going to close the Waffle House. And you will be the only city in the United States to run Waffle House out. And I love what they said in their letter to the editor. It says, and considering that all the other small businesses that serve food have been run out of business because of those traffic cameras, when Waffle House closes, your police department won't have anywhere to eat. Hey, when Waffle House schools you, okay, that's
yeah.
But Dollar General store, oh my God, that one, and that was the new Dollar General store. They got an older one that's in an old shopping center, and then they had a newer one that was farther north by the Food Lion. You remember where the drive-in was, Dan?
I couldn't tell you, no.
But
I mean, I've driven through Chattanooga. I didn't ever live there.
But the drive-in got turned into a Food Lion, or it was a Food Lion. There, you know how it is. Back then it was Bilo. Bilo set up one grocery store. Food Lion had to set one right across the intersection from it. So
yeah, like Taco Bell had to build a place, a restaurant right next to every Del Taco, and try and drive them out of business, even though Del Taco had better food.
Of course, Taco Bell's cheaper. That's
but it's still crap.
In multiple definitions of the word cheaper. So, yeah.
I am glad to see that Del Taco is actually making a resurgence in Georgia. I
Wait,
don't know if they plan to build a restaurant next to every Taco Bell and charge less until they put the Taco Bell out of
that
business,
would
but charge less for better food. Yeah.
You could
I'd
put a
go
Taco
there
John's on the
every
outside.
damn day.
see. What was that trip?
Rid the world of Taco Bell.
I like Taco John's better, anyways.
Well, I'm very fond of the taco stand. It doesn't matter which of the 3 locations has parking. Uh, there's there's one downtown next to the college. I don't know if it even has parking, which would be parking meters out front and no parking lot within a quarter mile of the place, unless you go to one of the parking garages and pay $35 for 5 minutes parking, or whatever Clark County charges for parking in a parking garage. There was one parking garage that got condemned like 5 minutes after it was finished, and was just standing there, just an enormous open-sided parking garage for decades. And then they finally figured out, hey, it's not safe to park cars in, but we can turn it into an apartment complex. So they did. The condemned parking garage is now expensive apartments.
What condemned it for the cars for the parking deck?
It couldn't hold it. It couldn't hold the weight. It could not hold the weight of all the cars that each floor of the parking garage was supposed to be able to hold. If you filled the top floor to capacity, they would soon be on the bottom floor.
Okay. Now I'm thinking about that apartment building that fell in Iowa. Was it last year, 2 years ago?
I don't know if it's the same construction company.
Chinese concrete.
Exactly. All sand, no mortar. Around here, they'd be better off just to build a ziggurat out of granite blocks. And we've got enough granite in Elbert County to do that. It could be 40 stories tall. And about the only thing that will happen is every year it'd sink a foot in the ground from the sheer weight of the granite.
We were talking about those traffic cameras, and they put a bunch of them downtown Chattanooga. But the traffic's so bad, there's no way you could break the speed limit in downtown Chattanooga. So and then
the cameras just to keep an eye on what's going on, or as opposed to
they've got some on.
You should be happy Zach he went to bed, because otherwise he
and you're one of the first ones to pick on Zach about Canadian gallons or American gallons.
Why do you think I'm over here trying not to laugh? I couldn't finish that sentence.
No, the cameras are there just to they don't even have to work. I mean, we had security cameras at the factory, and people would go outside when smoking cigarettes inside the buildings was no longer allowed. You had to go to a smoking area outside. They go outside, and somebody go, hey, you better watch it. There's a camera right there. And inevitably, if I was there, I'd look up and I'd go, well, yep, there's a camera up there. But see, the cable that goes to the camera has been detached, and it's about 8 feet away from the back of the camera. That thing ain't doing nothing. It's just sitting there rusting.
It's scaring you.
Exactly. That's what it's for, psychological warfare.
Big
They
Brother wants you to think they're watching.
They
what you
put
do,
up
what you do is you
they
pull
put
the
up
camera.
cameras all over the inside of the building. I mean, really, they put up functional cameras all over the inside of the building, and I go, okay, now you've got to hire somebody to watch the screens for all of those cameras 24/7, 365. What are you going to pay them? They made it a management job. They've actually got a supervisor that sits there and watches the cameras and does nothing else.
That's the ones
Yeah.
that's the ones on Hickson Pike, and I don't know if you can see it. That's white spray paint.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at it. The thing's not even 10 feet off the ground. And here's what's really funny. Okay. That sign's right in the way. That flash goes off. Those cameras can't see a damn thing. Because the reflective sign will flash right back on them.
Yeah. And
I know that neighborhood. And I also know who, has the spray paint. Let's see. See if this has got a better. I'm trying to find an actual picture where you can see the darn spray paint worth the darn. I guess not. They may have cleaned that. Of course, now that part of Hickson Pike is kind of brutal because of the S curves up there.
Yeah.
And the churches and the schools, and there's a church, school. Is that? Yeah, church, school. And there we go again.
White spray paint.
Square painted.
Oop, too far. Where'd it go? Oh, back there. Sometimes the camera car working through Google drives a little too fast. And you can see those are spray painted. Again, It's only about 10 feet off the ground. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet you can stand on top of that box and spray paint both of them damn things.
I'm willing to bet that's exactly what they did. And they probably waved at the camera while they were doing it without showing their faces.
You see that right there? That's the electric meter for the traffic signals here. You notice there's no glass bulb?
Somebody has stolen the meter, or it's been disconnected. And the electric company said, "You're not going to pay the bill. We're not going to have the meter there. You can't have any electricity at this location."
And I know there's a school down here. It's an elementary school, so I can understand them wanting to have traffic cameras down here. But let's see here.
There were a couple places in the factory where they spent thousands of dollars restructuring it so that these rooms had their own doors back and forth instead of being one open space that was, useful. And they were going to put cameras in there to be able to give write-ups to people that hung around in what was obviously not their work area.
Hey, look, there's Joe's house.
And they never got around to putting the cameras in because somebody pointed out, a couple of paper clips and a index card with a test pattern printed on it will take care of that camera forever. And then they found out that most of the people hanging out in that area and goofing off where management staying away from the office where their senior management couldn't observe them not doing anything.
Yeah, we had a command sergeant major that he found out someone had been bringing women onto post through one of the back doors at our base, and were having sex out behind a little museum that they had there. And he got everybody together and says, "Okay, I don't know who's been doing this, but says I don't want to hear about it happening anymore." And apparently, this was I'd never heard of it until they mentioned it then. And apparently, it was fairly widespread. And everybody's like, "Yeah, I think I've heard some goings on down there at night," and didn't think much about it. So, Criminal Investigation Division went and put a hidden camera back there. And of course, being the Criminal Investigation Division, they didn't tell anyone they put a camera back there. And it had the night vision, so he could see what was going on. And turns out the guy that was bringing people back there was the command sergeant major who told us not to do it, and was actually using that as an excuse to get out of the house, meet up with this girl, leave his wife at home, meet up with the girl that he was having sex with over there. Says, "Oh, damn it. What? Somebody's screwing in the back of the museum again. I gotta go down there and see what's going on." So middle of the night, he'd drive down there and do his hookup, and they got him on camera. And the way we found out about it was he just kind of disappeared. That's
As they do.
It's like 1 minute we've got a command sergeant major, and the next one we're having a welcoming ceremony for the new command sergeant major.
Mhm.
And suddenly, the relations.
Remember when this was a huddle house?
And suddenly, the relations behind stopped.
Ramsey's Produce. I used to get all sorts of fresh veggies over at Ramsey's.
And we have Mike Jimmy with us too.
Hello, Mike Jimmy.
Hey, Mike, how's the kid doing? We've been talking about kids all day.
Yeah, really.
Paul has a new grandson. And,
I'm going to have a great grandnephew here in a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. I don't know. I am not informed of the schedule. I was not even informed of my niece's graduation, so I could go.
Aurora is having a loud morning.
Strange, loud morning.
They're going to get stranger and stranger.
Oh, Lust is off.
Dad Patrol.
Off to Dusseldorf at the last minute. Yeah. Here, take the baby. I'm leaving. I'm going to Germany where I can have some peace and quiet. I hate to make jokes like that, Mike Jimmy. I hate to make jokes like that.
No, he doesn't. No, it's actually.
I have been in a household with brand new babies, and I'm going, if I'd had a parachute, I would have pulled the ripcord several times myself. Chris, yeah, not to mention Appealing going live tomorrow night. I am finished with everything except my editorial, which will be written tomorrow because I always leave that to the last day just in case there's something topical I want to cover. And not entirely wrong, not for a peace and quiet, but it's not entirely wrong. She'll be home again tonight. Okay.
Tomorrow, well, Apelian, we have a couple new people in Apelian, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have Foxy and Thesis. And they both have cover credit.
That is awesome. I don't know if they're
Well,
watching, but congratulations.
it's their first stories. I go, hey, this is a good excuse to give somebody cover credit. Not only good stories, but first stories this good. And then it turns out that at least 3, if not 4 people that submitted stories did so using my writer's prompts from the Writer's Challenge 2 page.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it just because I came up with the opening sentence doesn't mean I'm ever going to write the story. That's why it's on those pages, is because, hey, if you're stuck for something, or if you need a prompt, here it is, and here is Mike Jimmy.
Hey, Mike
Good
Jimmy.
morning.
Morning.
Let me put my mic a little closer.
Just me, myself, my microphone.
You're used to that, though, aren't you, John?
There we go.
Tune turntables and a microphone.
Good morning.
Mike Jimmy's like, I'm ready to go back to bed.
No, there's a baby involved. Nobody's going back to bed.
No.
No, you nap when she naps. No, she's still awake, so I'm hearing, all kinds of cute little noises from somewhere behind me.
Don't.
Bruce literally just left for the train. Something train to Germany.
So Life on Core is officially completed, right? Or the Kickstarter?
Kickstarter is done. The colorist still needs to do half the pages. So once the money is in, I'm gonna drop her half. She's already working on it. And yeah, we should be done in August. So.
How'd you end up?
Alright.
How'd you end up?
1,307 euros. So could have done a little better. Could have done worse. But
What is that, about $1,500 or something like that? Or-
no, not even 14. The euro and like let me check.
I used to have to keep up with that stuff when I was in Germany. Of course, they always announced it every morning on the radio. So.
Let's see. Yeah, it's 1,418 right now. Like it's so close together. It's peanuts.
And what was your goal?
My goal was 1,000 on Kickstarter. My actual goal was 2,000. So yeah, a little over halfway there. I haven't been able to do much when it comes to the campaign. I haven't been able to promote as much. Yeah, no, there's like only 2 or 3 backers that when I last checked, that didn't have their pledge go through. Yeah, there's 3 right now.
I'd have to check and see whether or not it went on my credit card or my debit card.
Okay, so yours went through at least.
Oh, I'm sure it did, but I mean, whatever I made it on, it's already been recorded. So
Yeah, exactly. No, but now I can
Mine's
go
pending.
into new territories, because for the next Love on Korra, the double feature, we are moving to a different continent completely. So, whole new setting. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm having a ton of fun, and
oh dear.
So yeah, mine's pending, so it should go through.
yeah, no, yours says it's already fine. Like there's 3 that essentially already told me, like, yeah, I'm like I tend to have credit card problems with Kickstarter because Stripe can be a problem. But yeah, like it should be okay.
Oh Lord.
Let's see. I can stream this to my own audience.
Well, congratulations on funding. I know it wasn't as high as you were hoping, but
No. I'm happy with the results. Honestly, like every little bit helps, and it's enough to get the book printed. I'm just gonna have to put a little bit extra in for getting the coloring done, and I've always done the coloring before. It's just that the last half year I've been jobless, so I couldn't invest in the series financially. So I'm not bothered. Like it's just what it is. And yeah, still gonna keep going. Still looking for a guest writer for a 32-page story that I can make beside the 64-page story, if anyone feels called. Because yeah, I need something to be able to go through a little quicker than the 64 pages, because that is a lot of work.
not me.
Excuse me, folks.
He was interested.
I just found out that a friend of mine sent me a story 2 years ago, and I lost it.
Uh-oh.
Hey guys, there's somebody over in one of the other.
Yeah, there's someone on Twitch being a Russian bot, but Kiri took care of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought all the Russian bots were serving in Ukraine.
The ones that haven't deserted.
Yeah.
Quick, call his draft board. We know where he's at. Okay. That'll keep him off the show.
1 second, I gotta check if my little girl is actually asleep or doing shenanigans in her bed, because either of those make sure that she is quiet, and that is dangerous.
Just remember that's
Yes,
going
a
to be
quiet
like that.
baby is indeed dangerous.
I was going to say, just remember that's going to be the same thing that you're going to say for the next 18 years of your life. Because when they're 3, you're going, quiet, scary. When they're 14, you're going to go, ooh, quiet, scary.
Why do you not work when I click on you?
You really want me to come up with something to go with that statement?
No, I'm not clicking on you, dear.
Not the green room. Not the green room. Not the green
The
room.
glean room?
A little bit.
Oh, she.
Hey, with a little bit of polish, it could be the gleam room. Yes.
Wax on.
Let Carl have that much fun with that one.
Donna will have fun with that one.
Well, I was
Hey, whoever.
Oh, excuse me.
She caught the mosquito net that is around her bed and was munching on it very happily, holding a pacifier in the other hand, holding it up like that, and going home.
I was gonna say she's gonna be kind of starting to cut teeth pretty soon, isn't she?
No, she's started already. So
okay, so that's why she's.
That's going to be a whole nother deal right there.
yeah, don't get me started. She's been gone for a couple of weeks already, like getting a little cranky here and there, and really wanting to munch on things. And, yeah.
Kong, the people that make the dog toys that are supposed to be indestructible, really missed a market by not making baby teethers. Okay.
Well, fun fact: most of the things that you find as dog toys are from the same manufacturer that made the ones for babies. Like it's all silicone rubber. Like
it's amazing how companies, where they overflow and where they're, yeah.
Oh, what was the one? Oh, the one that amazed me. I only found this out last year, and it just shocked the hell out of me. I was into canning. I'm still into canning, but buying canning supplies. My favorite canning supplies are the ones made by Ball. B-A-L-L. And they just make the best lids and rings, and their jars are good too. But I found out some company out of England, I think it was, bought out their aerospace division. And I was like, what that? So I went and looked it up. Ball, the people that make the lids and rings and stuff, has an aerospace division. They make skin for satellites.
Huh. That is oddly specific.
I didn't. Apparently, that they make the lid with the pressure seal and all that sort of stuff like that. So it's the same sort of thing that does satellites. I don't know if they make a whole satellite or just pieces for it, but some company out of Europe bought them out, just their aerospace division. So now Ball in America is just canning supplies, and Ball Aerospace got renamed or something. I don't know.
Huh. Well, when I worked for Sara Lee, which I worked for Sara Lee Direct, but it was Sara Lee, they owned, obviously, the cheesecake, bread, all that fun stuff, but they owned Legs, Hanes, Bally, Playtex, Champion. They did own Coach when I started with them, but then they sold them. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny what some companies own. Like, what was it? Howard Hughes was one of those people that his investments were just all over the damn place. His family made their money in oil and oil drilling supplies. He got into aviation and making movies, and then eventually went into, during the war, right before World War II, went into aviation. Then Hughes makes satellites. And then strangely enough, I can't remember which one it was. It may have been Playtex at the time, but I'm not certain. Because he had as one of the actresses in his movie studios, Jane Russell. And he specifically designed that bra that she wore, the Playtex Living Bra or whatever it was called. He specifically got his aerospace company to design a bra for her.
Hey,
just so she'd look better in the movies than all the other actresses, because it lifts and separates.
Protagonist syndrome.
That was their tagline. Jane Russell used to also do the commercials for the Playtex Living Bra. That's right up there with Don't Squeeze the Sherman when I was a kid. So.
Yeah, but it was just funny that they sold Champion, athletic wear, cheesecakes. That's why when you were doing this, I'm like, yeah, exactly. But they owned like Jimmy Dean, and I mean just all different sorts of food ones too. It's like, geez,
diversification.
Yeah.
It's because if you're not selling bras, you're selling cheesecake.
And sometimes the same time.
There's a pun there. Okay. Yeah. And then athletic equipment. Yeah, it's. Oh, what was it? The one guy, I'm trying to remember who the damn industrialist was. It says you can't go wrong selling bullets.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Chris, really? Isn't any quiet female teachers at any age?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 18-hour bra. That was another one that Jane Russell sold.
All right. If I may interrupt.
Yes, please do, before I say something that I will regret saying on air.
I I owe my friend Hippie in Australia a huge apology. He sent me a story in 2002, which I totally forgot to download and put into Apelian because it was one of those busy periods where I was
22 years
not.
ago?
No, 2 years ago,
Oh, you said, did you say
2022. Okay.
2022.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I
Yeah,
missed.
okay, that's a
Yeah.
little
I
different.
thought I heard 2002. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. If it had been 2002, I'd go, "Who are you? I never heard of you before." But no. He sent it in 2022. He sent it to me. I was not the short story editor at that time.
Holy cow.
I should have forwarded it to the short story editor, whoever that was at that time.
Are you ready, kids? You're supposed to say aye, aye, Captain. Okay, come on.
I'm just more shocked the fact that it's already getting to be that time.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
That's why I said, are you ready, kids? And of course, nobody here watches SpongeBob SquarePants besides me. Well, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure Mike Jimmy does because he's got a kid that
I'm back of all trades.
I grew up on SpongeBob.
Right.
It started when I was like 12. No, earlier than that.
He's been around a while.
It's been around for a long time. It is Nickelodeon's biggest show still.
Well, I just wanted to make a public apology to Darren. I have just downloaded the story. It is in the setup file for July. So, and I replied to his email to let him know that. But I just wanted to say it publicly because I screwed up.
It happens.
Hey, I don't even remember who was the short story editor in 2022. I know that I had to take it back over December of 2023. So I've been doing the short story editing and the covers, as well as trying to write my own stuff since New Year's.
Hey, Mac, are you coming to HallowCon this year? Really? Somebody could say something while he's answering.
Oh,
hey, I'm just waiting on the answer.
I was actually being quiet so that he could answer.
Will miracles never freaking cease?
I am normally a very polite person, and yes, I will sit there and just patiently wait.
For somebody that hangs around with Joe Dog, yes, you are normally a very polite person.
I put shopping carts back in the shopping cart rack. I take shopping carts in with me.
And somebody flies, they're half a country away. You don't even acknowledge that they're 20 minutes from you.
Family obligations.
An acknowledgement, even, John. It hurt right here.
I did acknowledge. I said, "Hi, I hope you're having fun."
When did you do that? Was I too busy having fun?
I think so.
And Memorial Day weekend is a tough time of the year for me, and I really didn't want to show up down there and be Debbie Downer. So,
oh God, Chris. Shaming me does nothing. I'll tell you that right now. I do enough of that myself. Um,
Yay! See, Donna's yang and I'm yang Mac. That sounded really weird the way that sentence came out.
there was some context that was in the chat that would have made it, but praising you and having some fun. I bet you are. What's her name? Hey, inquiring minds want to know. There are jealous women everywhere hanging on an answer to that question, Chris.
He didn't get his own cult by being not sought after, right?
Uh-huh. The Ray Sawyer boy. I don't know who Ray Sawyer is. I'm sorry, Chris.
I have no clue either.
Okay, gotta Google Ray Sawyer. Ray Sawyer.
Dr. Hook.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure.
He's the guy with the eye patch. Okay.
Got an old lady named Cocaine Sada, and she embroideries on my jeans.
See, he's he's very famous for the song
On the cover of the
Cover of the
Rolling
Rolling
Stone.
Stone.
Oh. The more you know. Because I know the song. I never knew it was them. Huh. Cool.
See, I knew what song it was. I was just scared to sing it because I didn't.
That was beautiful, man. Yeah, I know the way the song is. We have it all in lights. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful, man.
Oh Lord.
And let's see. There was a country music reply. I almost said parody, but it wasn't a parody. It was a reply to it by Buck Owens and somebody else. I'm not sure who. And it was called On the Cover of the Music City News. And basically, it was the same song, but with folk
Country
song lyrics, country lyrics. But yeah.
Okay. Folks, it's about that time in the show.
Yes, it is.
First things first, I'd like to thank all of our guests tonight. Dawn for showing up because she's been absent for the last couple of shows. And Mike, thanks for showing up. I want to thank Zach for showing up. I want to thank Zach for showing up and helping us make fun of United Launch Alliance and Boeing. And then let's see who else. I'd like to thank the regular Rogues Gallery over here, Mac, Chris, Donna, and let's see who else do we have tonight. Just real quick.
We had several people.
Russian Bot and Kiri. And
Hey, yeah, Kiri stabbed the Russian bot in the face.
The farming girl.
Farm girl.
And who else? Farming girl. Who's the other one that I
Gavin and Signy, Zacky's cousin.
Gavin R. and Signy Spear and of course Launchpad. That's the only one. Okay. I don't think I missed anyone, did I?
First redneck on the internet. I don't know about that. I might have beat him to it.
Good night, everybody. Oh, wait, I gotta find a button here to push.
Good night.
I'll.
I have slit the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.